So here we are, live at 5:01. Sorry about that, guys. I like to start right at 5, but I was having challenges with my technology. I was trying to get set up on my laptop that I have in my little office in here in my 2 session room, and my technology was failing me, so I had to be open to change and switch over to my phone and get on real quick because I wanted to not miss my window of opportunity to share with you folks. And so here I am, your favorite Twinful Twin Tasha, working her magic, or live at 5 magic, and super excited to share with you on this topic today, being open to change. I think one of our greatest challenges as a twinless twin is the shock of being twinless. And there are so many different stories. There's literally over 4,000 of us in the world I'm sure there's many more than that, but there's 4,000 of us on our Twinless Twin Support Group International page. And so there's a lot. There is a lot of us. And a lot of the stories, and this is one of the biggest things that my husband has shared with me, is he's gone with me on this tour of Journey of 1,000 Healing Hugs. He said he didn't realize how many twins didn't actually make it to the end of their life together. And so this idea of being open to change is for our first experience of being a living set of twins, or even if it's just in utero, and perhaps our twin passed in utero, and so we come into the world, but there's a change. It's like, wait a minute, we were intended to come in as a pair. And then for those of us that did come in as a pair, and then we ultimately lose our twin, there's a major change. It's a huge shift. And Dr. Brandt came up with this term, twinless twins. And it totally resonated with so many twins back in the day when he came up with this concept. It suddenly brought some clarity and some definition to this change in our experience as a twin. But so many of us, oh my goodness, some of us lose our twin to illness, to suicide, to murder. There's just so many different ways that we have that experience, and in all ages, from in utero. I just saw an article about twins that are 103 years old celebrating their 103rd birthday. So, there's a whole spectrum here. But what is it that kind of binds us all together? And it's the fact that we're twins. We're hardwired differently. We think differently. We interact with the world around us differently. We're much better at telepathic communication than a lot of people, because that's how we are with our twin. So there's some really, really neat aspects about being a twin, how our brain is wired, how our body is wired, and how we ultimately interact with the world around us because of it. So we get into this space where suddenly our twin is gone. They no longer have the physical body that they had when we first started our lives together, or this journey together. And it's shocking. It is incredibly shocking. And I don't care in what way or how your twin passed away. I don't care in what the manner was, what the age was, how much of a life you shared together and all the memories you had, or how little of a life. The bottom line is, it is shocking. And there's a lot of unknowns around that experience. And so for myself, because of my age, my brain was nowhere near fully developed. I was only 4 years old. So I didn't have the cognitive reasoning or the capacity to even comprehend the fact that my twin was never coming back. That was a really hard reality for me. My family were very strong believers, and they shared with me that she went to heaven to be with Jesus. And I thought to myself, well, let's go to heaven and be with Jesus then. Who is this guy? I want to meet him. If it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me. Okay, but I was a little kid, so I didn't understand. I didn't know what that meant. And I remember that it wasn't until I was 9 or 10, that's the age when it really started to sink in that, hey, I came into this world with another being. She was with me. I had memories of her. And that, it really, my brain finally got to the point where it kind of clicked that, okay, she's not coming back. But in all honesty, it wasn't until my mid-20s before I really kind of wrapped my arms around the idea that I would have to live the rest of my life without her. Now, for some of us, that's a really long time. For some of us, it's not quite as long because our twins passed later in our life. So it really depends on where you are in the journey. But here's the bottom line about being open to change. When your twin passes away, you got nothing like to prepare for that, or to even, we have this message in our mind of we came into the world together, we're going to leave the world together. I don't know who it was that came up with that message. But I have traveled all over this country. I have met nearly 150 twinless twins, and my goal is to meet 1,000 of you, just by the way. And I'm going to put a little link in the message below about how to sign up for that if you decide you want to be a part of the journey of 1,000 healing hugs. My goal is to get to 1,000 of you. But anyways, I don't know who told us that message, but it's wrong. Okay? Just because we came into this world does not mean we're going to leave this world together. And that can be a very challenging message to understand and absorb. But that's the reality. And the more I tour the country and the more I meet with twins, the more we understand that there's a lot of twins out there that have lost their twin in some way. And so here's my point in sharing that with you. I believe that there are coping skills that we can gain. I believe that we need to start having the conversations about what is it going to be like. And instead of it being, don't leave me, I can't live without you, it's how are we going to connect with each other when one of us is no longer physically here? Let's practice that. And I think that can be super powerful. So the reason why I share that with you is because, in all honesty, that's what my mom did. From the time she got diagnosed with cancer until the day she died, she practiced. When she would go to sleep, when she would have her surgeries, she would practice trying to communicate with us when we weren't physically together. She made it her mission to be able to let us know that she's here, even when she's no longer physically here. So I believe we need to change the message. And being open to that change is understanding that when you look at this world and you look at our huge community of twinless twins, there are very few twins. I mean, statistically, I would imagine it's less than 1% of twins that actually pass together. Okay? That doesn't happen very often, okay? We need to embrace that reality. And so by embracing that, we open ourselves up to figuring out, okay, so if that's the truth, I got over 4,000 of you proving that to me. I didn't have to meet all of you, I just know you're there. So if that's the truth, what can we do to help us cope with it? What skills can we develop so that when we face the loss of our twin, that we are able to process that, deal with the grief, and move from twinless, which to me is a grief cycle. That's the grief part of the experience, to having twinfulness in that cycle. Does that mean we're no longer twinless? No. We absolutely have grief as part of our life for the rest of our journey until we're reunited. Amen, sister. We're going to be reunited, Tanya. I just know it. Okay? But can we have those twinful experiences? I talked last night, if you go back to last night's video, I talked about the cycle, the ups and the downs, and what is that? We have the Wheel of Fortune I talked about, where you spin the wheel and you're not sure where you're going to land. There's these happy moments and positive moments and beautiful moments and endearing moments. And there's times when we face those challenging moments of loss and grief and hurt and all of that. And it's all just part of that wheel. And we spin it and we get to, we're not sure where it's going to land, and we're learning how to figure that out. Well, I believe that Twinful is also on that wheel. And I believe that part of our twinless journey, when we face the shock of our twin being gone, it's been months, it's been years. For some of us, it's been decades. When we face that truth, we have an opportunity to rewire our brain. 2 souls, 1 body. Our souls are eternal. The commitment I made with my twin happened before we came into this physical experience. And that commitment is still very much there. So how? How can we move from twinless to twin full and at least have it be part of our experience? I'm not saying we're one or the other. I'm not saying you're no longer twinless because you have twin full moments. That's not at all what I'm advocating for. What I'm advocating for is that we give ourselves permission to be a twin and that we can embrace our twin power. We give ourselves permission to be open to the change from being a twin to being what we call twinless, because we think the only thing that makes us a twin is the fact that it's the two of us together. Now we're twin. And then a lot of twins, when their twins die, they say, I'm not a twin anymore. No, we are rewriting that message. You are a twin because you shared your mother's womb. That's what made you a twin, sweetheart. And that little fact about your body doesn't change just because your twin's body is no longer here. And it's important for you to know that. It's important for you to embrace that. It's important for you to rewire your brain so you can understand how powerful you are. You are so powerful because you're a twin. And not everybody on this planet has that power. So you need to embrace that. And the difference between twinless, which is totally embracing and accepting the fact that our twin is no longer here, and so we have grief about that. There is a loss. The other side to that, the twinful side, is I am still very much a twin. I have twin dynamics. I have twin wiring. I have twin biorhythms. When I get around other twins, oh, and little Miss Maria Salas, if you're still watching this, you're one of them. When I get around other twins, I synchronize with them. It doesn't have to be the one I shared the womb with. It's literally any twin that I get to be around. I can biosync up with them, and we have our twin moments. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. And guess what? It took me 39 years to figure that out. My twin was to figure out that I needed to embrace the fact that I'm still a twin. And it took me a few more years to actually meet a twin face to face for the first time. Another twinless twin. And that's when I realized how powerful my twinship truly was. Tasha. Twin full twin Tasha. I am twin full whether Tanya's alive or not. And my number one, Lisa Watson, can prove it because she was the first twinless twin that I met. And if you heard her tell the story the first time we met, well, she might not be quite as gregarious and passionate as me, but she will say the same thing, I promise you. I promise you. That interaction was so incredibly impactful for both of us. So, be open to change, twins. Be open to the fact that our brain can be rewired. And we can start learning about the power of our twinship long before our twin has passed away. We can embrace the fact that we are going to be a twin with or without our twin in the physical. And the twins that still have their twins can learn a few things from us. So that when that time does come, because statistically speaking it's going to, we don't know which one, but when the time does come, how cool would it be for that surviving twin to know that we're here and there's a whole bunch of us and we're gonna make sure your twin power stays lit, baby. Nobody's blowing that little candle out. No, that's what this community is about. It's keeping our twin power lit. I love it. Well, guys, that's your Live at 5. I got one more to go tomorrow night, but I just want you to know that I love you all so much. I appreciate you spending your evening with me. I appreciate you being here. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, and I can't wait to see what comes up next. Twin powers. Unite!